Yep.
Just feel like I just did like.
Hi, Bay.
Yeah, it's my 6 year. Yeah. 6 year. Feel like I can. No sense of life.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. I call the meeting to order. We start with educational showcase, radiology technology students. Where are they?
Yeah, where are they?
I will begin.
They have 1 minute.
Okay, they have 1 minute to
They're
arrive.
probably not coming.
They are not coming.
No, I guess I haven't heard from anybody.
We can continue our meeting and whenever they come, we,
Because I was talking to Carolyn like around 4 o'clock and she didn't say anything about it.
I'm guessing she forgot.
Okay.
and the problem, we continue our meeting. Any public comments or union comments? If none, I need the approval of the minute of the annual organization meeting.
Make the motion. I'll second.
Mr. Jaswick and Mr. McMahon. All in favor? Aye. Oppose? Any discussion? Motion carried. Approve minutes of the regular meeting of July 16, 2026. Mr. Cologne. Mr. Wilson. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Discussion? Motion carries. Thank you. My report, NYCCT Fall Conference will start September 16 to 18. One of our board members, previous board member is getting award. I encourage you guys, if it's possible for you to attend, if not the conference and the dinner award, at least come for the dinner and award. Mrs. Bethany Schumann McGee is receiving an
Yes,
award.
and she'll be there.
Yes, and if you're interested, you can get in touch with Ms. Tambasco to make reservation for you for the dinner. The college is gonna absorb the cost for the dinner, but if you choose to bring a guest, that's our responsibility. I believe you all receive a conflict of interest form. Kindly you fill it out and give it to Ms. Tambasco. I have two motions for you for approval. One is motion for renewal of NYCCT membership. Annual membership due for New York Community College trustee, we call it NYCCT, due on September 1st, 2026. And the amount is $2,737.58. The chair recommends that the Board of Trustees approve the membership renewal to NYCCT for the period beginning September 1st, 2026 and ending August 31st, 2027. This is in a form of motion.
Make a motion.
Mr. Jaswick, second?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Should the amount be in the motion? The 2,700 and whatever? Should that figure be in the motion?
It is in the motion, no?
Not that I'm looking at.
It's in the description of the motion.
Mhm.
That's a different motion. That's not MIC. Well, it's not in there. Oh, there it is. I went down one. I take my question back, Madam Chairperson.
And no problem.
See?
And who second? Did the motion?
Mr. Jaswick, motion, and the second,
Seconded it.
okay.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Yes, can I finish with the second motion, please? Yes, thank you. And I have another motion for you for approval. Everybody, I'm sure they glanced at um, the description for the FCA we received. I have a motion for 2026-2027 Fulton College Association Agreement. Every year, the agreement between the college and Fulton College Association requires renewal. The president recommends that the Board of Trustees approve the agreement between college and the Fulton College Association for the period beginning September 1st, 2026 and ending August 31st, 2027. And to authorize the chair of the Board of Trustees to sign the document. This is in a form of motion.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Pei. And
Second.
Mr. Landrieu, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
She's on her way over.
Can you call them? Can we call them? Because that's all I have to say.
I'll roll into my report and then when they get here, they can.
Okay,
go into sensitive things.
sure.
Okay.
Okay. And with that, I conclude my report. And now, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So at your places, there is just a brief summary of the proposed capital projects that the foundation are generously looking to help us fund. We've talked about these. We recently went through the approval process with the two counties. So in June, Montgomery County approved using the foundation funds as a match. This last month, Fulton County at their last meeting approved it. So we will be including this in our request to SUNY, which goes in early next month. And, hopefully we'll get the included in the state budget and Leslie's going to fundraise regardless of whether we have a match, but we anticipate that. And, this dovetails nicely with a number of other projects that we have involved in other grant funds that we have involved. So we look forward to that. We did recently receive notification from the U.S. Department of Education that there was leftover funds, and as a current Title III grantee, we were eligible to apply for those funds. So we did put in a request for $600,000 that would also complement this project. We don't know when we'll hear, but it's the federal government. We'll hear when we hear. There another. So I've mentioned that we had a few things happen recently that we weren't planning on that we're addressing. So we were working on repairing the steps behind the theater. These are next to the loading dock. In the course of demolishing those steps, we uncovered some issues. That work is now expanded, and they've finished the demolition of the slabs. It was more extensive than we even initially thought, and so then the next step will be, bringing in new pressure stone and improving the drainage there, getting that compacted, and then the goal is to have that all poured and ready for our classes start, which is right around the corner. And we think that's about a $25,000 surprise that we weren't anticipating. We also had a little excitement here in the Allen House, the EV charging station started a fire underground, and so we had a few fire departments respond to that, and that has been repaired and is back in operation. If you happen to come on the west side of campus, you'll notice some big piles of dirt sitting there from the city of Johnstown digging up a couple of utility vaults that they were hoping to replace the water meters for us and for the BOCES facility. And they're still hoping to do that. We just don't have a timeline on when that's going to happen because the equipment that they brought in to lift the tops of the vaults off wasn't big enough. It was big enough to destroy our brand new paving, not big enough to lift the lids off the vaults. So we are waiting for that, for an update on what their plan is, whether they are for the second year in a row to push that dirt back in the hole that they dug out right before classes. They did the same thing last August. So this is apparently a new tradition where they come out and dig up campus right before classes start without mentioning it to us. And they have made a valiant attempt at repairing the damage to the new paving. It is what it is. So we'll keep you posted on that. As they rethink their plan because they don't know how they're going to get the new meters installed. Recently, I had the opportunity to meet with officials from the Niagara bottling facility that's being constructed up at Triad Technology Park. Talked about ways that we can partner and you know, they're looking to be a good community citizen and looking for ways that they can give back to the area. You know, so they've been talking with us and they've been talking with, you know, the town of Perth and Broad Alban Perth School District. And so we'll keep you posted as well on that as those conversations develop. I did update you as well that we have gone through all the steps that we have control over in terms of the budget approval process. It's now in the hands of the state university, and we expect that the SUNY Board of Trustees will finalize that approval at their September meeting. This is their general cadence. Also, just to keep you posted, we did energize the Joint Health Insurance Committee late last month. We've got our first meeting, and we will be probably setting about a monthly frequency for those meetings as we work toward the next plan year. Our plan year runs October 1st to end of September. So we've got some time to work on how we're going to try to get a handle on those costs and look for, also coincides with the largest bargaining unit on campus. Their contract is up at the end of the upcoming fiscal year. So it is an opportune time to begin looking at what the options are to try to reduce those costs. That is the conclusion of what I prepared to talk about, but I'm happy to answer any questions if you have anything else that's come up along the way or anything that happens to be on your mind.
I have a question. How many electric cars do we have on the campus and how many stations do we have?
We have 4 charging stations on campus. The campus itself does not own any electric vehicles, but we do have individuals who use those on a fairly regular
And
basis.
they pay us, no?
They pay the company those meters were put in place. They did not cost us anything. The company put them in, and we receive a modest. So let's say they charge 20 cents a kilowatt hour. I think we get something like 3 cents a kilowatt hour on that. But you know, it's you know, we cover it and they cover our utility cost, and then you know we get a small fee. But it's not and it was never intended to be a revenue source for us. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Anyone else has any question?
Our red tech director is on her way over.
Thank
She
you.
is
Thank you so
surprised
much.
she's not here already. But at some point she'll be popping in. and we
Yeah.
can-
No, she's not here yet. Huh?
I do not see her here yet.
Besides the damage done to the pavement, how do you feel about it? Is the pavement done well? Was it the job?
The pavement is, yeah, we're very happy with the job that was done by Del Signor at the parking lots and the loop road. It really draws a sharp contrast between what we were able to accomplish this year and what still remains to be accomplished. There is one parking lot that needs some serious TLC. Montgomery County, as part of their in-kind, will be coming in. I thought they were gonna be here this week, but possibly next week. And they'll do some patching on that parking lot. They've done that pretty much every year, where they've come and helped us out with some of the most damaged parts of the parking lots. And we pay for the materials and they donate the labor and provide it. So,
That's nice.
and we're gonna try to chip away at I think there are 4 lots left to do. And then we'll also, kind of take a look at what the East Loop Road looks like. We closed it down last winter. It's not heavily used. Whether or not we want to invest in paving that or primarily a pedestrian walkway, because people do walk it. You have a lot more foot traffic.
Walk.
Yes, you do. Yes. So there's one vote. for
Okay, definitely in gold. We need to
That's
have
right.
paved. Or silver. Silver.
So, but yes, overall, we're good.
What, as part of Greg's report, I got a hold of him, I don't know, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. I called him up and I come over and got a tour of the heating system replacement project and the blacktop. And I also went out back and saw the new field out there. The work is amazing what it's done here. I would like to thank Greg for arranging a tour guide for me. And I was impressed.
Is there any possibility, sometimes you make it possible for all of us to see it?
Of course, we can definitely do that. I tried
To
to that
avoid
for next
taking
month
Jim's.
Yes.
to make that our showcase.
Yes, thank you.
Yep. So that's that. Very good job stretching that out.
No, we use our time. Thank you for coming.
Of course. Okay,
You're on.
I'm on.
So for those who don't know, I think everyone knows, but for those who don't, this is our program director, Carla Labat. She's been chomping at the bit to share information with you, and we're happy to have her here to do so. So.
Hi, everybody. So I hope this is more of a conversation, but I'll tell you a little bit of what we've been up to. So this is our 20th graduating class. So we're super excited about that. And this class that just graduated, the class of 2026, had 100% employment rate and 100% pass rate on their boards, which has been like stupendous. And they were just a great group of people. I think they'll go out and do great things in the community. So I brought just a couple of their accomplishments, which some of you may have heard already. They won the New York State Quiz Bowl. They placed first and third in the essay competition for New York State. They placed first, second, and third in the poster competition. And then we took them to Atlanta, Georgia for the first time we went there. Melissa Sapia had the highest score out of 135 students on her practice registry. She also achieved the highest score in the class.
Which I still hear about.
She's her niece. Got a tremendous student. She's applying to PA school.
Yes. She starts UAlbany.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so 4 of them in that class are looking to go to PA school. And they're going to be able to do that because they'll be working on the weekends as a rad tech. So they'll be part financing their education. So also at Atlanta, they came in second and third in the spelling, well, we called it a spelling bee, but it was like a quiz bee. We've never done anything like that. It's single elimination. So they had about 200 students walk up to the microphone and a panel asked them one question, and it was single elimination. So it was really fun to watch them compete in that. But beyond that, their like commitment to service was just an impressive thing. So when they finished in May, they came back in June and did a Smith's Pie fundraiser for the current class, in which they raised about $3,000, $3,000 to $4,000 to give to the freshman class. So their commitment was an impress just as people, and just they did men's health in November. They did women's health in October. They wanted to learn more. We talked to some of the community providers about subjects. One of the people we talked to at St. Mary's in mental health asked us to talk about, and they gave us some information on like men's suicide awareness and prevention. And the class was just very interested in all aspects of medicine. And they wanted to know what imaging is doing in these aspects. You know, they were interested in how we're using functional MRI in Alzheimer's and dementia. So they went, you know, way beyond the scope of the classroom as allied health professionals, and it was just a really fun group. So that's something about the class, right? That was really, it's such a privilege to teach them because they're just such great students. In addition, we have a student who is enrolled in Midwestern University. She works at Saratoga Hospital. So she's seeking to become a mid-level provider currently with the radiologist group there, Courtney Orr. She's doing fantastic. She just received 2 national awards on her practice and commitment to service. So that's been really fun. Janae Maroney is a 2008 graduate of ours who's the imaging director at Ellis. And she'll be speaking at our state conference in the fall about doing capital budgets and management and healthcare administration. She's a radiation therapist. 2 radiation therapists have come back to St. Mary's and are running the NYOH, like oncology office. So we have about 20 graduates now that are into radiation therapy. One of our graduates, which you hear about in the board meetings, is one of 4,000 people in the entire world that is a physicist dosimetrist. And so what he does is when you, right now he's doing a research project on prostate cancer. So your provider, your oncologist will decide what treatment you need. And your oncologist will prescribe whatever the latest research on your type of cancer says. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So when they do that, if you're sent to a radiation oncologist, they'll prescribe radiation treatments. It's up to the physicist and the dosimetrist to dose the treatments, and it's up to the therapist to utilize the equipment to provide the treatments. So there's one program in New York for dosimetrists, and there's, like I said, about 4,000 across the globe registered. So he's completed 3 research studies, and he's working in Poughkeepsie. So he's keeping in touch with us. So that's been a really cool thing. And he just mentored one of the class of 2026, Madison Diaz. She is pursuing dosimetry based on his mentorship. So that's kind of a.
Is that Kyle?
It is Kyle. Oh, Kyle. Kyle's a one of a kind. So she was just accepted as a class of 12 into radiation therapy at SUNY Upstate with the goal of pursuing dosimetry. So we have a lot of exciting things happening, I think, with graduates, and it's fun to hear about them in community. It's great to go to the hospitals and have them I feel like they're taking good care of us.
Oh, yeah.
You know, which is really, you know, they're doing your ultrasounds, your mammograms, your CAT scans, your MRIs, therapy, dosimetry. They're becoming provider. Aubrey Mendez is a women's health provider in Amsterdam that came through our class of 2011. So they were able to expand the women's health services out of Amsterdam when she joined their practice. Kayla Henry just moved from Nathan LaTower to St. Mary's. She's joining, I think she's doing primary care. She was running the quick and sick at Nathan. She did cardiothoracic surgery at Albany Med. So they're doing some really, they're doing some really cool things.
You may have mentioned it when you first started to speak. How many graduated this year?
21.
They were 21, and you said they were all placed.
They were all employed,
Did they-
by January 1st. A couple of them changed employment.
Where are you getting the demographic wise? I mean, we used to
the
be,
pull of the
when this
students?
program started out, it was St. Mary's and Memorial, and thank God they joined a partnership to do that when it was first started. But
So like where are our clinical sites?
yeah, where did they end up getting a job? Saratoga?
Oh, so jobs.
Montgomery County?
Jobs are really interesting. The job market is really interesting right now. So we utilize 18 clinical sites. Our farthest clinical site is Columbia Green and Hudson, and we also utilize Cooperstown at this time. So we are seeing a pull of students with the amount of applications that we have. We're seeing a pull of students from a wide demographic, very wide. Some places I don't know. Our number one student in this current class that's about to become seniors. Do you have tissues? I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. Our number one student is from Plattsburgh. She was accepted into 13 programs.
And in the 20 years, approximately how many students do you think we've had?
Greg might know better than me. I'm gonna say between 300 and 400. What'd you say? You think? 20 times 20, maybe?
That's
Yeah.
the program.
Oh, yeah.
300. Around 300 graduates.
Do any of them ever get into forensic imaging?
You know, I've made a contact with a graduate of Hudson Valley. His name is Tim, and he works in the pathology lab at Saratoga Hospital. So we did our first rotation there this past year. We had 6 students go in and watch the pathologist work on various types of either a body or disease process or an organ. So I would say this is the first time I'm hearing about interest in that. One of the employers that came in to talked about industrial radiology, but none of them really like x-raying like structures like bridges and different things, or x-raying, you can put oxygen tanks in fluid and ultrasound them for cracks, like the industrial size oxygen or helium tanks that a hospital would use. So we've had a couple employers talk about that a little bit, but I don't think we've really explored it too much. So we utilize 18 sites, and we have students employed at all of them, all 18, which is great. And this year, for the first time, bone and joint came in, and capital cardiology came in, which was super cool because probably in medicine right now, a lot of the income is in cardiology, right? And capital cardiology is one of the big players. So actually, Dr. Sullenberger came in himself, which was great. So they offered, and 2 of our students have received it and completed it, a scholarship to pay their tuition for the Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, which was about $30,000, and to pay for them to live in Massachusetts, and then to guarantee them 3 years of employment at $62 an hour.
Wow. That's wonderful.
So 2 local students actually that came here before they went to Rad Tech and then came to Rad Tech got that scholarship.
Great story.
So
Great.
So it's really fun. And Bone and Joint offered something, and I was talking to Greg about it the other day, and Pat, this is exciting. I'm sure you all know a lot more about it than I do. The students are very enticed by either an hourly wage or a sign-on bonus. That's like very flashy to them. But the finance people that I talk to they really push retirement and employer match. So my husband's twin brother is in finance, and he wrote me a handout that I should hand to them when they graduate on the difference between a 401k, Roth IRA, and all the things, and exactly how to maximize questions to HR. And he said, he lives in Dallas. He said he was willing to present to them. So Bone and Joint came in, and they're the first company we've ever had that offers profit sharing. And so the students were so interested in that, they asked to meet with Bone and Joint's HR person, who then zoomed in and answered all their questions. So 2 of our grads switched from where they accepted contracts, and they went to Bone and Joint. So now Bone and Joint has agreed and really pursued us. We're going to become a clinical site with them.
Great.
That's amazing.
So that's really cool. And the orthopedist said they'd like to come in this fall. They came in the spring this time, but now they'd like to come in the fall. And this class was so outstanding. And actually, Melissa sort of spearheaded it. 7 of them went to work for Ellis. And Ellis has been struggling. I'm sure you've all read about Ellis in the paper and different things. And the imaging department is no exception. And this group of 7 students said, but what if, you know, your previous graduate's now the director? What if we went to work there and we could flip the department? What if we could make it better? And we had a long talk and Janae met with us and all 7 of them went to work there. And I just had dinner with them last week and so far they're really loving it. The 2 girls that went to Bone and Joint are loving it. We have a girl, Maya Rivera, you may have heard about. This is a great story. I think she graduated 2025. And some of you may know Maya. I only know her as a student in the program. Seems like she's had some struggles. She's never owned a car. Tuition was hard for her. She worked really hard while she was in the program. She had significant health concerns. She had to come to class with a Foley catheter in. She didn't miss any clinical time. She had to borrow cars. She just accepted a contract so she's been out a little over a year. About 5 or 6 months ago, she accepted a contract in Hawaii. So she's a travel tech in Hawaii. She flies from island to island, from hospital to hospital during the day. She flew back from Hawaii to see these seniors graduate, and 4 of them just flew out to visit her 2 weeks ago. She was sitting in there during the ceremony. So Ryan Crooker is a previous graduate who came in and spoke about traveling to Hawaii. So this is how Maya learned about it. And I think her annual net income for a year of travel in Hawaii will be probably around $200,000. And they pay for her apartment near the beach. She has her car. She just flew a car from here to Hawaii. I don't know how you do that. I assume I have to go by boat.
Part of the way, at least.
Part of the way, right? So she is just loving island life. I don't think we'll ever see her back.
No,
here.
she's happy.
She looks
She's
happy.
very happy. Yes, very happy. So those are some of the kind of exciting things that they're doing, which is just really fun to be a part of. Equipment wise, right now, the employers are asking to come in November. We haven't really had them ask. They want them all contracted out by like December 1st. I try to stave that off because they jump at the first offer and then another offer comes in and it's not good for them or the employers. The employers I think are in pursuit of us because we have a New York State rule that if they fail their board exam the first time, they cannot stay employed. So the employers are really now emphasizing and looking at pass rates, which has been really great for us. There's about 50 open positions between Ellis, St. Peter's, Albany Med. Well, if I put Albany Med, it increases that, Nathan and St. Mary's. So that's exciting. We're seeing students not just go into radiography, but they're being accepted into CT and different modalities right out of graduation. The hospitals are willing to train them. It's exciting. We're getting AI enabled equipment at the clinical site. So what that means is one of the biggest challenges in imaging is height. So like Greg and I are different heights. So the equipment now, if he walks up, will automatically adjust for him off of a camera, or it'll adjust for me. In women's breast imaging, they're not using it on male breast imaging, but in women's breast imaging, there's so many advances. And AI is offering patients peer review readings besides the radiologist. So we have our students sit with the radiologist. This class of 26, 2 students sat with 2 local radiologists, and one of them has decided they'll be applying to medical school. So if she goes all the way through, she'll be our first, radiologist to go through, which will be exciting. The equipment's changing. AI is definitely on the scene. Remote scanning is here. What remote scanning means is that if I do MRI or CT, I can do that from a home office or office that has been set up. Maria would be trained to put the patient on the table, but because we're so short-staffed and qualified imaging personnel, I would be running like 3 scanners for 3 different sites. And right now that's allowed in New York State. It's definitely happening in the city. So there's opportunities there too. So AI is definitely a big force in imaging that we're trying to keep up with and, use our equipment appropriately and get the students out there. Our portable right now is more advanced than the portable equipment that most of them are using at the sites. So that was a great addition. Students feel well prepared. We get our employer surveys tell us that the students start their job, like the day they start working. Well, that's been really, really cool. Anybody have any questions?
I
Just
just
so
want to
fun.
say something. You said the student are very successful, and in my opinion, and so many other people's opinion, they owe it to you and Mr. Bailey. And because you run the department flawlessly, and everybody respects you and love you, and you are like a mother to them, any which way you want to look at it. And we are very grateful to have you and Mr. Bailey in our corner. Really,
Really,
I really
that.
appreciate that. And the explanation you give us, it was totally very informative for me. And I'm sure so many other people that we didn't know there is what's going on. And thank you so much for doing that for us.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. We're lucky to work together. We love this job. We love the students. The college is so supportive. I do want to say that this doesn't happen like with us and it's definitely not flawless, right, Pat? I always tell Pat about the things that are not flawless. But without the support of the college, Dr. Truckenmiller, the foundation, like Floor and I work together for her A&P classes and what the students learn there. They pull into the classroom and all the classes that they take on campus. It just makes such a difference for them. And they're so attached to so many different professors on campus. Like a lot of our students have taken classes with Anya, and they love to learn from her and then apply what they learn about. All their patients are diverse. So what they learn about that, they're applying at the clinical setting. Nathan Latour just approached us. They're, I believe, going to be opening up another CT site. So they're looking to see if we can get students at that secondary clinical site. And it's nice when they approach us. They feel like they have a trust in the college and a trust in what we do, and we work really well together. I feel like we fulfill, and I know this sounds corny, but I say it every open house. As a community college, we fulfill the needs of the community as much as we can together as a group. The students get such a good a background here. Today we're going to offer three alternates on the incoming class. We offered them a spot today, so those students, hopefully right now, they'll be very excited to get an opportunity. The first thing we looked at was their A&P grades, and we score them out. So no, they did. They were good performers. So, and we're looking at collaborating with nursing. Because at the urgent cares and imaging, the x-ray techs are doing more like urine dips and throat swabs. So how can we collaborate with nursing to, get that training? So that's a lot of fun things on campus. It's awesome. So thanks for all your support. Thank you for saying nice things.
No, this is the truth, of course.
And I had mentioned to the board previously that as part of the state budget, they added some additional restricted operating aid that we had to apply for, and Pat and Carlin worked on a plan that we were just notified was late last week.
Yeah, last Thursday.
That we were approved, and that will expand the RadTech program.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. We estimate New York State Department of Health and myself and a couple other people, one from Northwell in Long Island, estimate that there's 11,000 to 17,000 applicants waiting to get into radiography programs in the state. So one of the restrictions, people always ask this. I know they ask Greg. I know they ask Leslie. They've asked me, why can't you take more students? Take more students. You have 400 applications. You interviewed 150. You took 25. Take more, take more. Right now, New York State Department of Health, we are unlike most allied health professionals in that we are licensed out of the Bureau of Environmental Radiation Protection. Like most people are licensed out of the Board of Education. And, or they have a specialty, like mid-level providers have a specialist assistant. We don't. So we're separate. And they tell us that we cannot do evening hours. So we can't have students at clinical sites after 7 p.m. unless they're 6 months to graduation. And they can only do 80 hours if they're 6 months to graduate. That's nice for a rotation, but it doesn't help us expand or anything. And we also cannot have more students at a site than a site has radiography rooms. So for St. Mary's, that's 3. Right? If you use OPP, that's a total of 5. So we can't do more than that. So there is a petition from Trinity Health for the state to lift the evening hour requirement. And we would be able to expand in that capacity. So we're waiting. We should hear about that in the next like calendar 12 months, which would be a way for us to take more students. This is the first year I've had to meet with many families. And I think Mr. Landry and I talked about it at the golf tournament. Many families, you know, my daughter, my son has an 84, they have an 85, they have an 86, they've applied twice. Why didn't they get in? Because all the students that got in were above an 89. Right? It's a competitive process, but many tiers. I think I'm up to about 24 families I met with. So have to apply again, or I'll recommend, well, you need to retake A&P, you need to retake biology, you need to take, you know, if you took A&P online, maybe consider an in-person, you know, we're trying to evaluate on how to grow.
I just want to reiterate that the evaluation process that they go through is extremely extensive. I've had the privilege of being invited to participate in it. A lot of my students that take anatomy and physiology filter through there. And it's really a compare and contrast of who can, one, handle the material, who can receive the material, who has experience. So when you put those, I call it a configuration together, you'd be surprised how many get to that 90 mark. I mean, we're talking the top of the top, the cream of the crop. And with such a limited number, it does make it very, very challenging. But what it's producing is the ability to increase retention and success for her program because they're knocking it out of the park once they go in there. So it does make it very, very competitive. But I am very impressed with how they handle it. They get to come in, they learn about the program, and they begin, whether they get in or not, they begin providing a foundation. So if they don't get in that round, they understand, wow, I really want to do this, which is why they reapply. And they're like, this is exactly what I want to do. And they will continue to reapply because they've been shown how well organized, how supportive. And more importantly, I think I remember the first time I went in there, I'm like, I'll be a student. I mean, there was so many opportunities because she and Cullen actually show the different pathways that you can follow. And for a young student, you can say, yeah, you have many opportunities, but they're going to ask, well, what are they? And they truly articulate all the different pathways because at the end of the day, they have to connect with the material. And they begin by providing that foundation to enable them to do that. So firsthand, it's very impressive. And that's why it's hard because they do have so many that get to that level.
Hard.
Yeah.
So if you don't know about our process, one of the things that's a lot of them bring their parents to open house or they bring their parents. It's not a formal interview process, but we have what we call a communication experience. So the 100 students or 60 students, whatever we decide, we're going to interview have been grade ranked. So we invite them into 3 sessions of like 20, 25 students each. And the first hour, we tell them all about the field of medical imaging and the 12 advanced imaging modalities that are possible. We tell them how you would go on to school. What are the careers all the way up to a radiologist, which is what a lot of them think we are. So we tell them we're not a radiologist. That's 14 years of school and a lot more zeros after income, and a lot more responsibility, right? So we tell them that, and then, you know, all down to entry level X-ray diagnostic imaging. And so we go over this and then we have them introduce themselves and say an interesting fact about themselves. And then we have them write down 4 essay questions. Now, we'll tell you, in the 10 years we've been doing that, I have to think of how to say it politically correctly. 1, they cannot write in cursive ever. So there is never cursive. I taught 5 students this graduating class how to sign their name. Do you know how I did that? I wrote in dots their name so they could trace it
Yeah.
and learn how to sign. Because they didn't know how to sign their application.
Yeah.
I had to write in dots, Tegan, and she would write it with me. And she's like, how does that look? I'm like, let's do it a few more times. And you write out, photocopy it. So cursive is gone. The other thing that is gone, and the reason we make them answer the essay questions in that room is why?
I can't look up on a computer.
Because they're Chat GPT and all their answers. So we make them do it in front of us. Their ability to construct a paragraph, their writing, like we showed you how we came up with the top 25. If you read the essays, it's very clear. And it's not a secret. We asked them, name a time you showed leadership. Why do you want to go into the healthcare profession? What if your clinical instructor is mean to you? How are you going to advocate for yourself and your patient? Right? How are you going to treat patients that are unique and different from you? I mean, the questions, if they come to see us, we'll tell them the questions. It's not a secret, but their ability to do it on the fly. And I would say out of half of them, if we have 20 in a session, they'll say, my hand is going to fall off because they're just not used to writing.
Yeah.
So that is an interesting experiment. And I think it's important. I think we'll keep doing it because I think it's important for them to hear about the field and their parents to ask questions and them to go through this process. So it was fun to have Flora be a part of it. It's not as fun to read them all, but but thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for all your support. Appreciate it. Take care.
Take care.
Put her to the finance committee and let.
She'll spend more money than they have.
You heard it.
Just taking every HR department to do just exactly that. You sign your name?
She's wonderful. She really is amazing.
Yeah.
She is.
So is Mr. Bailey. So we are back to our foundation report. Please, Mr. Wilson.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tybee. Fall semester, we'll have an art exhibit featuring Joel Chapin. And that reception will be happening around September 18th. There will be a reception and ribbon cutting of the Delaney Turf Field. That's possibly going to be on the 23rd of September. Clock Tower Loyalty Society Program. Kickoff event will be Friday, October 30th, 8 a.m. here at the Allen House. Commemorate the foundation's 50th anniversary. 19th Annual Distinguished Alumni 6th Annual Clock Tower Awards Dinner. Will be September 11th. I assume that'll be at the Holiday Inn. And
No, November. Right, October.
well, this says September.
No, that's nominations.
That is,
Oh, all right,
sorry, Jack.
no problem. The following the board meeting, there will be a program at the 9/11 Memorial. That's on the after our September 11th meeting. That's my report. The rest of it was in your report.
Thank you so much. Any question for Mr. Wilson? Thank you. Finance, Mrs. Peg.
Yes, thank you. Everybody received the financials in your packet. If there's any questions, Amy's here to answer them. And in the meantime, as we all know, it's the policy that the board approves all budget transfers that exceeds $5,000. So we do have a motion that we need to take an action on. You have the attachments of what those transfers are. I will make a motion that recommends that the Board of Trustees approves the 2020-25-26 budget transfers that it's listed to the attached report. That's a motion, so look for a second.
Mr. Wilson, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried.
And that ends my report.
I think there's another one, no?
Oh, there is.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
snuck that one in. It's obviously, and I've got to get to it, it's obviously because it references money, so that will be under mine, and I'll take it away from buildings and grounds.
Yes.
It's on the sale of a vehicle of a 2015 Ford. So it's a surplus sale that'll bring in revenue. So the recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approves the use of the Auction International for the online auction process with no minimum bid and authorizes the president to conclude the sales transaction.
Motion.
Second. Mr. Cologne, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Mr. Beck.
Now it ends mine.
Now it's building and ground, Mr. Landry.
There's a few things left I can. So just a few things we want to bring to your attention. The energy upgrades, the old boilers, demolition is 100% complete. The sprinkler system riser has been relocated. We received the new boilers, the new hot water tank has been installed, the new chiller has been installed. It is online. Some of you, or maybe all of you, hopefully have noticed the tremendous improvement in the paving that is taking
Beautiful.
place. Unfortunately, we wish we could do more, but you can certainly see what has been done, along with the striping. And the O'Connor Hall painting facilities team has been busy painting the lower level of O'Connor Hall. This summer, it looks bright, clean, and it looks great with the new lighting. So those are just a couple of things we wanted to highlight in the buildings and grounds report. And that includes our report, unless there's any questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Landry. With that, if there's no question to ask Mr. Jaswicks for academic affairs.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The report is in your packet. There are a couple of highlights here in regards to the academic movement. Christy Davis, who was part of the BCP team, and Ron Suller, HVAC adjunct faculty, held an acceptance student day for HVAC students on July 28th. It was very well attended. We had to open up an additional section due to the interest. In addition, in the business division, Charlene Davis, assistant professor, and Lawrence Zuckerman, professor, have successfully completed and renewed their certificate, certified financial education instructor, continuing professional education and examination requirements. The certification supports Money Smart Financial Coaching Program grant, which is funded by JP Morgan Chase and is entering its 5th year. And with that, it concludes my report.
Any question? Not, we go to student affair, Mrs. Perry.
All right. So here are some highlights. The first of 3 new student orientation sessions for the summer were held on the 29th of July, and as well as the second one was today, with several 100 incoming students in attendance. Students participated in presentations on financial literacy, campus safety, academic support services, technology resources, student involvement. The final orientation will be on September 1st. The Reggie Relief Food Pantry will start the fall semester with a new inventory management system called Pantry Soft, which will transition the in-person model to an online ordering and pickup service, which we feel will facilitate usage and reduce possible stigma of utilizing the food pantry. Fall 2026 also launches the FMCC chapter of the SUNY ASAP Advancing Success in Associate Pathways Program. Jamie Page, Director of ASAP, Amy Hebert, I say Hubbard, ASAP advisor, and Greg Young, Associate Dean of Grants and Grant Funding Programs, recently attended the conference on strategies to promote student engagement and the SUNY Student Success Summit. These professional development opportunities allowed the team to collaborate with colleagues from established SUNY, ASAP, and ACE programs, share best practices, and explore strategies to strengthen student engagement, retention, and degree completion. And lastly, the FMCC ASAP program, ASAP. I didn't want to say it, and then that's not what we use. Will serve 150 program students beginning fall 2026. The ASAP team is currently identifying eligible students and conducting outreach and prospective participants. In addition, online ASAP eligibility requirements and many benefits available through participation. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. And we are going to diversity, equality, and inclusion. Mrs. Tresplacio.
Sure. So there is no report in your packets. The CDOs haven't met in over 2 meetings. So it's been almost a month and a week that we haven't met, but we met yesterday. So I do have a few things that I do want to share with you guys. So yesterday's CDO meeting included there's a big discussion about the restructuring of DEI councils, whether it's more advisory, whether it's some more governance. And they provided kind of like a generalized talk to focus on 3 key areas. Those 3 key areas include belonging and inclusion for all individuals in the institution, performance and insight. So this provides us with the opportunity to, and this would make middle states really happy, but assessing the process of the DEI Council in relation to the strategic plan as part of this process. So it's really a focus to strengthen the correlation between the directives from the institution and then linking how DEI becomes a part of that. And then the last part was the alignment and credibility piece, which includes aligning the DEI efforts with institutional priorities that we have set forth. And I know that the strategic plan has just been revamped, so that's something that has to be combed over, looked at, and make sure that we have that process. Assessment was pushed pretty hard. I do a lot of assessment myself in my division and my program, so I'm very comfortable with it, but it's not something that was really brought out, and I was kind of impressed with how much assessment was discussed at yesterday's meeting. So one of the key functions that I took out, and this is the model that I believe I'll be using, is that functional or a functional council turns commitment into structure and then structure into results. And so that's ultimately the model that we're going to adapt for this year. So we've created a plan for the academic year 26-27 to work on several things. Our first meeting will be on Friday, September the 18th at 12 p.m. And the key factors that we're going to focus on include continued discussion on federal immigration to keep our students safe at FMCC and have adequate responses to that if it's necessary. Increase in student engagement across the board. As we know, post-COVID, that has been very difficult to get students to engage, but we have seen an increase. And so we want to captivate that momentum and keep that going, including our platform, and to drive student success in the following areas. Strengthening coordination across campus units, make sure that students are getting equitable services, they're experiencing inclusion in as many areas as possible, and they're all achieving their college degree, having equitable experiences, right? Having the same kind of platform, even though they're different, but achieving the same pathways. The second part is clarifying academic pathways to students. I know that when I teach, a lot of students are like, I'm in the health studies. I go, are you in the health studies or the health science? I'm not sure. And so to really provide a clear, directive as to that and make sure that we educate them in that way so that they have equal advantages. And then integration of academic and student support services more closely within the student experience. And I've met with Arlene, and that's something that's already taking place here. It's to bring light to those things, including working with OEP, working with TRIO, and getting involved in that platform. And that's really one of the directives for the Diversity Council for our college. With that said, a couple of things for our purpose. Number one is making the council really more of an advisory body for our institution, as opposed to just being one body and not really just kind of doing for that. And then maybe having a lecture here and maybe doing something here. That's really not the visibility that was discussed. I've had a lot of guidance with some of the other community colleges, so I consider that a blessing that I'm able to speak to them openly. But making a council that's an advisory body, providing a collective voice. And what I mean by that is having unified representation of all parties. And that includes peers, coworkers, students, administrators, the boards of trustees, directors, and even foundation, in helping us maintain consistent efforts throughout the institution. So that was really a big thing they talked about. And then the third thing is discussion for the council to solely advise and support, not govern, which allows the body to keep the president updated on a fairly regular basis of all the things that we're doing, which then opens a level of communication at our institution, which we really should always strive for. And four, a dedicated student voice. We did have in the last council that we sat for the meeting, we had two students that we had in the council. And so that was the main goal, to increase. Some of the community colleges also had 1 to 2 students, but now they're really trying to get 5, 6 students to really have a voice. And that can be done through a process of applications. That could be done through a process of meet and greets. Like, there's a bunch of different things to be able to get students to participate. And being able to identify students early on allows us to create a concept that functions to form a process of meeting that transfers into action. And so lastly, the areas of conversation and assessment that we're planning to do is student success and belonging, which I mentioned, inclusive teaching and learning excellence. So that's incorporating some of those platforms into the classroom. I know for me, I use in biology and A&P, Henrietta Lacks and her cells, and we try to incorporate different types of examples that demonstrate that kind of disparity, which demonstrates a form of inclusivity in medicine. Workforce diversity and talent development, which is something that Jessica Bergiu and I are in conversation with. Institutional culture and climate, which we've already done a campus climate survey, and I know that more are coming along the way, according to Chancellor King. And then strategic leadership and external impact. So that's that community impact that I mentioned at the last meeting that's also inclusive. So the CDOs received all this information, and it's basically, here you go, off you go and do the best that you can. But the best thing about it is many of the people that I've spoken to already feel very comfortable with the things that we're going to tackle. So I think it's going to be a seamless transition. A lot of work, but I feel it's going to be a seamless transition as many things are already rolling into place, and conversations are taking place to be able to provide that for us. The last thing on the agenda, and I know that Pat Grandy's already sent out an email to all faculty members, but the CDOs received an email and an all call for applications for the SUNY Accessibility Advocates and Allies Faculty Fellowship Program. So it's a fellowship, but they call it the SUNY AAA Fellows Program. We don't have a representative. So I got an email that said, you FMCC are not listed as having a representative. So the goal is to encourage someone to participate and become a part of this so that we can get off that list of not having someone there. But those are the things that were discussed yesterday at our meeting, and the progress that we have seen moving forward. So any questions?
Really wonderful report.
Thank you.
Is there any question? If not, we go to sustainability with Mr. Van Bladel.
Thank you. Yeah, this continues to be an exercise in multitasking. There's a lot going on with sustainability. Couple of things that I've done over the summer is contacted the Gloversville Community Garden along with Grow Amsterdam. And I've actually took some drives over there, and they're small. It'd be nice to see them expand a bit. But for those of you who've been through downtown Amsterdam, that is a food desert. And it really, with it comes the health issues that are associated with it. So, you know, it's something to think about. I don't know if we can do, we have a lot of space up here. Maybe we can grow some things with that. Who knows? But there's a number of things that we're beginning to talk about with that. Sustainable Living Club will take on some of these contacts in the fall. next time you'll get to hear about my trip to the Eco Village in Ithaca. Really interesting. Let's see. I have a calendar of events. Now we've been through this for a year and I'm really close to finalizing what we've accomplished in the last year, which is quite a bit, actually, especially you've heard some of the grounds, some of the improvements we've made with lights, with heating, all those things are really crucial. And some of the dates we have here are worth taking a look at. Not so much the first page one, but we have a zero waste week, and that's really consistent with what SUNY's been looking for to reduce waste. If you've ever seen a video on people trying to do zero waste, it is really hard to do. But getting near it, I'm a 5% person in a sense of if we can get better by 5% and then keep moving along, then we really can begin to get some traction with this. World Car Free Day is an interesting one to give up your car for a day, which is hard to do in rural areas because public transportation up here is not easy. I thought about riding my bike from here, from options, but it's just not going to work. So
Ride with the Amish.
and then I'd hear people talk about animal use over that one too. So, World Cleanup Day. I'm a fan of don't chuck stuff out your window when you're driving day. I'd like to have it turned into that. Every so often we do cleanups here, which is really nice. But there's this person inside me that says we need to stop people from throwing stuff out. Interesting fact, if you leave stuff on the road and don't pick it up, it becomes like a garbage dump. It gives people permission to throw stuff out. So it's really important actually to pick things up. Let's see. And then we have Recycle Week coming up at the end of September, which is important too. So all these things we can hopefully start to incorporate a bit more at the campus, coordinate it a little bit more effectively. But this is the first year has gone by. I've got some of these dates down, and now it's going to focus a little bit more on engaging this more in our community here. So that's it. Any questions? Feel free to ask.
Any question? We're gonna go to Mr. Town accreditation.
Thank you. Just a couple, 3 items to update you on in the Middle States accreditation area. At the last meeting, I talked about the annual institutional update. And so our provisional data, which is IPED's data, has been loaded to the Middle States dashboard. That process, we'll review that data. And then final data is loaded to the dashboard in January 2027. We've received our survey results and reports from the 2 engagement surveys that we did in the spring. So I've started to go through that data and we'll be sharing that with the leadership team. There's already been some interest in that data from the Dean of Grants and grant-funded programs around the Title III grant and using some of that data to support the evaluation process of the Title III grant. I think we have a review in November, so I'll be meeting with him and providing him some of that data. And then certainly this body will hear more about the data and the use of that data. At a minimum, I'll include a report on those engagement surveys in the annual assessment report, which we usually do January, February timeframe. And then just finally, quickly, that data, the data from those surveys will be used to support and hopefully develop some initiatives around the strategic plan. So you've heard me report on the strategic plan over the last several months. That plan goes into effect in September. Like I said, going to also work on the strategic plan, getting those priorities and goals that we've identified in that strategic plan into the assessment activities and the reporting processes across campus. And then one thing that I want to make sure that we do with the strategic plan is to continue to raise awareness about that plan and keep that plan visible to the campus community and to the larger community. So we actively pursue those priorities and those goals that we've set for ourselves over the coming years.
Any question? Thank you so much. Personnel, Mr. McMahon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wheels of talent acquisition are churning. Couple folks will start their new roles on September 1st, which is coming pretty quick. Sarah Russo has accepted the Liberty Partnership Program Coordinator position. Jin Kim has accepted the Learning Success Specialist position, and Kelly Janis has accepted the Learning Success Specialist position. Couple of searches still continue. Principal account clerk for finance in progress, and building and grounds custodial worker in progress. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Do you have any question? If not, we go to policy, Mr. Cologne.
Well, we have no changes today, so I have nothing to report.
You, is there any business?
I do have one item. Shaloni Winston, the director of Lexington, reached out recently and notified me that the college was selected to be honored as their community partner at their annual gala later this month. If you have an interest in attending as part of that, please let me know. I know somebody's going to say, when is it? And I don't know. It's later this month.
It's got to
But
be later September.
it is. It's
We're in August.
so yes. It's only in September.
One of those days.
Yeah, it's in as Pat said. Pat knows. Ask Pat. Pat will tell you when the gala is. We'll get the date and we'll get it out. But that we're honored to be selected as their community partner. We have had a longstanding partnership with them. Their transitions program is an integral part of our campus. And so we look forward to celebrating that in September, which is not now. Now it's August.
Thank you. If there is nothing to discuss,
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
You were ready for that one.
Thank you so much for coming. Look into your calendar for the NYCCT.
Thank you. Was that the 18th?
Yeah, just Friday night.
Just same night as they open.
Yes, yes,
Calendar.
like top. Super top, yeah.
Or your calendar.
Yes, I
I
remember
keep
talking about
looking
that.
at the gala at the door.